Okay, so a container consists of a cylinder with a hemisphere on top. The total volume of container A is 337.5 meter cubed, and the radius of the cylinder is 4.8 meters. Calculate the height h of the cylinder. Okay, this looks quite challenging, doesn't it? When you look at it face value, you're probably thinking, well, where on earth do I start? Okay, and the tip I would give you in this case is try and concentrate, try and focus on the individual shapes. So on the top we've got a hemisphere and then we've got a cylinder. Now if I started focusing on the cylinder, I'd end up running into problems. Okay, the reason why is I know the radius, but I don't know what its height is. Okay, and that's the whole problem, isn't it? We need to work out the height of it. So let's focus on the hemisphere. And you know what? With the hemisphere, I know everything that I got everything that I need to know about it. Okay. The fact is, with a hemisphere, all you need is the radius of it. Yeah. And you should recognize I've drawn this in here. That of course the radius here is just going to be the same as the radius of the cylinder. So it's going to be 4.8. Okay. So what I can do is I can work out the volume of the hemisphere. I can actually work it out. We've got a formula for it, haven't we? We know the volume of a hemisphere is 2/3 pi r cubed. It's not 4/3, it's 2/3, right? Because it's half of a sphere. So that will be 2/3 times pi, which is 3.14, times radius cubed. So the radius is going to be 4.8 cubed. So then I've got, let's work that out on my calculator. So fraction button, 2/3 times 3.14 times the radius and cubed. So there's a cube button there actually, right? You can press that, or you can press the power button there and the little 3. So if I press equals, I get that, right? So 231 point, let's write it all down, okay? We can round later on. Now I know the volume of the hemisphere is that. So if I know that the volume there is 231.51, if I rounded it, what does that tell me about the cylinder? Well, if you look on this line here, it says the total volume of the container is 337.5. So if I know the total volume, and I know the volume of the hemisphere, I can use that information to work out the volume of the cylinder, yeah? And quite simply, the volume of the cylinder is going to be the total volume of the whole container, and I just got to subtract that hemisphere at the top. Okay, so if I work that out on my calculator, 337.5, take away 231.51, and I get 105.99. Okay, so that's the volume of the cylinder. But remember, of course, we know the formula for a cylinder is pi r squared h, and I know pi to be 3.14, and I know the radius of my cylinder is 4.8, so it'll be 4.8 squared then when you square the radius. And what I don't know is h, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. So we're back to a situation like before. All I got to do now is get my calculator and type that in. So 3.14 times 4.8 squared, and I get 72.3456 times h is 105.99. And we need to think now, what do we need to do next to work out h? Because literally it's one more line, isn't it? Because I'm timesing here to get h on its own. I'll take that over and I'll divide. And I'll get h out to be 105.99 divided by the ants, and I get out 1.47. Okay, if I round it, to two decimal places.